Northwestern Field Hockey has been ranked #1 in its history, but it had never beaten #1, at least until Friday, when the Cats knocked off Iowa in Iowa City. Ana Medina Garcia chipping in the game winner off a penalty corner to provide the 2-1 margin. And you will be the 5th seed in the Big Ten tournament when it gets underway Thursday at Rutgers, taking on Michigan. It is a league that includes 6 of the top 7 teams in the nation in this week's poll, which just came out today. So that 4-5 game is also a battle of #2 versus #5 in the country. We are joined by Tracey Fuchs, Northwestern head coach. She is our big interview. And Tracey, this league is ridiculous. I mean, I cannot get over the fact that Michigan is the 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament, and they're ranked 2nd in the nation. You are the 5 seed. You're ranked 5th in the nation. It's crazy. I mean, how would you kind of characterize Big Ten play this year?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have 6 teams that will most likely make the NCAA tournament, with the winner plus maybe 5 of 8 at-large bids. So we're really looking forward to the Big Ten tournament. Anybody can win this tournament, and it's really going to prepare us for the next step, which is NCAA's the following weekend.
How big a boost psychologically is it for your team going through this kind of bloodbath that is the Big Ten to have beaten #1 heading into the postseason?
Yeah, it's great. The Big Ten is having a fabulous year. We've always been one of the top 2 conferences in the country, and now to have 6 out of 7 in the top 7 in the RPI is just really great for the sport, great for our conference, and we're looking forward to hopefully having 3 to 4 Big Ten teams host the first round of NCAAs.
You have been playing really well. Your team's won 5 straight games now heading into the postseason. How have you seen this team grow through the course of the year?
Yeah, it started early. We were missing some players who were representing the USA team. Other players stepped up, and really we haven't looked back. We've lost some really tough games, 2 in double overtime, and another 1-goal game. All of our games have been 1-goal games as the season has progressed, and we're battle tested, and really looking forward to our matchup with Michigan on Thursday.
Your team is noted for its speed. How can you use speed to impose your will on a game in field hockey?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a sport that doesn't use it. Maybe table tennis, but we're fast. We're fast everywhere, but those young ladies they have the speed and the skill to back it up. With Maddie Zimmer, Aaliyah Marshall, Katie Jones, we have the ability to counterattack really, really quickly. And we like to attack. We like to take chances and get, between 10 and 20 shots a goal. And we know if we do, some of those are going to hopefully fall.
I want to talk a little bit about this program. I mentioned they've been #1 in the past. This is a program that's been to 4 Final Fours, that had a really proud history. But when you took over in 2009, it was in a bad spot. It's been 14 years since they've made it to an NCAA tournament. What has been the process of getting Northwestern back to this spot of prominence in the sport?
Yeah, it's been fun. I think, Northwestern's always had a great tradition and history. And when we came in, we tried to change little things about the culture, team first mentality, and, it's all about recruiting and, trying to keep your staff together. And I think we've done a good job on most of those fronts, and we're ready to put the pieces together and vie for a national championship.
I know you took a real leadership position among the coaches at Northwestern during the pandemic. You would host a bunch of coaches every week at your house around the fire pit. How important was it to kind of keep communication going within a department during what was a time that was so challenging for everyone everywhere?
I mean, it was huge. We're so fortunate that we were able to, 1, be with our team, and 2, be out in the backyard with the fire pit. I mean, I love the Northwestern coaches so much. We're really, really tight. Every Wednesday we did educational sessions with each other, whether it was fundraising or recruiting or coaching, and it's just a special place, and I'm so grateful and fortunate to have coached here for 13 years.
I want to talk a little bit about your background. You're from Long Island. Your first love was street hockey. Tell me about your street hockey career.
Yeah, I always thought I would play for the New York Rangers growing up, but that kind of fell through. I think my height maybe. I grew up with 5 boys next door, and we played street hockey and roller hockey. They were bloodbaths. Really taught me how to be competitive, and obviously I never looked back. I'm still as competitive as ever, and maybe died down a little bit off the field hockey field, but still enjoy competition for sure.
So wait, that would have been the glory days of the Islanders, and you're on Long Island, but you were a Rangers fan?
Absolutely. Rangers came first. My whole family was Ranger fans, and so we didn't like that other team on the island.
So how did you transition from ice hockey to field hockey?
Yeah, both of my older sisters played field hockey, and we had one of the best high school coaches in the country. So when I was little, I would ride my bike up to their practices. I'd see what they were doing, and I would come home and set up the cones and do it myself. And, street hockey, ice hockey, field hockey, very, very similar. I think being a multi-sport athlete really, really helped me. And, I never looked back. I loved playing for UConn. I loved playing for the national team, and I love coaching here at Northwestern.
You mentioned playing for UConn. You are referred to by some as the Michael Jordan of field hockey. I mean, you were a great, great player. You were National Player of the Year. You were a 3-time All-American. You represented the U.S. internationally, including in the Olympics. What was your greatest thrill as a field hockey player?
Oh, man, there's so many. I mean, we were supposed to travel on 9/12 right after 9/11 and weren't able to. So we ended up having to play India in a 2-out-of-3 game series to see who would go to the World Cup. And we had to wait 9 months for that to happen. And just everything we went through as a team, and then to beat them 2-out-of-3 was definitely a highlight. And then I would say the other one is walking into the Olympic Stadium in Atlanta, and somehow my mother found me. And anybody who knows my mom knows she carries a cowbell. So I was able to see where she was at. And, you don't go anywhere without family and parent support. So I'm very, very grateful for everybody who's supported me along the way.
You mentioned your competitiveness, and everyone I have talked to about you also mentions your competitiveness. It seems to be the theme that runs through the life of Tracey Fuchs. So we know how it manifests itself in sport. How does it manifest itself outside of sport?
Yeah, it probably gets me in trouble a little bit. Sometimes I have to thumb it down, whether we're playing cards or, walking to the end of the street. I like to be first in anything I do. So I have a lot of fun. And, I think, the pandemic has taught everybody to take a step back and really enjoy the little victories. And I've really tried to do that over the course of the last 2 years.
I know you'd like to get some big victories here going forward. Let's talk about this matchup with Michigan. You played them last month in Ann Arbor. It went to overtime, and they won. What's the key in the rematch here for you getting a victory?
Yeah, I think, that was one of our better games. We played quite well. Their goalkeeper had a phenomenal game. When you play Michigan, it's going to be a 1-goal game. You've got to get a little bit lucky, and you have to bring your A game that day. And typically it comes down to corner execution at the end of the day, both attack-wise and defense-wise. So we've been building our corner attack where we'll be ready to go Thursday, and I know they will be as well, and it'll be a great Big Ten battle.
I cannot wait to watch this tournament this weekend. It should be something else. Tracey Fuchs, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Go Cats.